Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. My name is Talia Joy. How are you doing today, my friend? I am your host, I'm your guide, your cheerleader, rooting you on toward your highest self. And this episode today is going to be so good. This is something that keeps coming up with clients. I had a conversation with a friend the other day who has a business, and we were having this conversation about, this exact thing. Why is it nerve-wracking to show up as who we truly are? And I mean in a business, but also personally and in your everyday life. And maybe it's when you're meeting new people or you're at a social gathering or you're hanging out with friends. Why do we feel so nervous to be who we truly are? Because if somebody asked me that, I'd be like, well, because I'm kind of weird. I'm kind of random. I'm kind of bizarre. I'm not normal. I always joke. I'm like the awkward one in the corner. I'm like, please don't make small talk. But small talk is how you make connection. And I'm like, oh. So sometimes I feel like I can't be who I truly am because I need to be more, together for this conversation or more, whatever it is, better at small talk, whatever it is. And I feel like I'm weird and random and I don't really want to talk about the weather unless I'm talking about how grateful I am that the wet season brings the lush, ferns and the tall trees and all those good things. But anyway, today we are talking about this, why we feel like we are weird, like we're random, or like we're not good with conversation, or we can't be who we truly are. And we're going to dive into this from a few different angles. Right now it's 11:11 as I am recording this. I'm so happy. So we're going to dive into it from a psychological level. We're going to talk about the shadow a little bit. We're going to talk about the spiritual assignment behind it all, why we feel we need to hide the parts of us that we feel that we need to hide. And then we're going to wrap it up with how we can really start to move through this so that if you do have a business or in your social circle or meeting new people, meeting new friends, looking for love, getting out there, maybe it's with coworkers, you can feel like you can drop your shoulders and be who you truly are without feeling like you also have to have it all together. So I'm excited to talk about this today. No longer are we hiding, shrinking, feeling like we're too much, feeling like we're not enough. It is time to be fully authentic with who you truly are. So I'm really excited for that. And before we dive in, if you have not grabbed the free bundle, Microdoses of Magic, I would love to give you 3 meditations, 3 short practices to bring into your life to really bring more groundedness, magnetism, zen, nervous system reset all throughout your day. So you're bringing microdoses of magic into your day. You can grab that below. Other than that, if you're feeling generous digitally, and I would be honored if you would write a review on whatever podcast app you're listening to. It really goes a long way. It really helps me and helps the community to get these episodes, to have them find new people, to help this message get out into the world so we all can be living our light and manifesting our dreams and being who we truly are. So with that, I think we're good with the intro. I am going to drop my shoulders as I encourage you to do the same. So let's drop our shoulders, take a sip of water, and let's dive into today's episode. Okay, so let's just call it what it is. I alluded to it a little bit, talked about it a little bit in the intro, but being yourself feels risky, scary, vulnerable. For some of us, we get so good at being who this person needs us to be, small talk in this conversation, showing up for others. We get so good at that it's like we're wearing masks throughout our day. And I want to talk about how, or one of the reasons why it does feel risky to be authentic, to be who you truly are. And first, I want to talk about the biological part of it. Deeply biologically, it will feel risky. And this is because your nervous system is doing exactly what your nervous system is designed to do. Your brain is doing exactly what your brain is designed to do. So let's talk about the brain first. I call it the tribal brain. You may have heard of it called the monkey brain, the reptile brain, whatever. But way back in the day, Our brain was created and wired in a certain way that we are, as humans, we're very geared toward the tribe, right? There were lots of primitive times where we stuck with our people, we stuck with our tribe, we're stronger in numbers, we are weaker when we are isolated or alone. None of us want to be rejected from the tribe. None of us want to feel like we don't belong. So biologically, our brain is wired to be one of them or to be part of the tribe, and not just metaphorically, literally. Because if we were not part of the tribe, we might actually die, like saber-toothed tiger type dying. And that part of our brain still runs the program. We want to be accepted by the tribe. We want to be part of the team. There's safety in numbers. There's, a part of us that feels good when we feel accepted. And this is not wrong. So there's a part of our brain that is actually wired to say, if I stand out too much, I'll be rejected. If I'm not like them, I'll be rejected. If I am too weird, too much, not enough, I don't have enough to offer, I have too much personality, whatever it is, I will be rejected. And that is terrifying to the brain. So there's a very real reason why we feel like I'm kind of weird, I'm kind of random, I'm kind of not like them. And that makes me feel nervous. So I'm going to be who I need to be to fit in here. And yet we never feel like we can be who we truly are. That's a very real part of our brain. So no shame here, right? It's understanding our brain. It's understanding who we are and why we are the way that we are that makes us able to move through something if it's not serving us. So back to the brain, our brain goes, if I'm too much, if I'm not like them, I'm going to be excluded from the tribe. From there, our nervous system kicks in and goes, don't wear that, don't say that. Oh my gosh, why is your laugh so loud? Why did you say that thing you said? Blend in to survive, literally like your life depends on it, right? And our nervous system will kick in when we start to feel like we're too much and say, don't post that, don't wear that, don't do that, don't be too vulnerable. What do you look like? Oh my God, you cried. That's so stupid. That's our brain, but also then our nervous system kicks in to survival. So we are living in 2025 or 2026 when you listen to this or whatever is, whenever we're living, and our brain is still back in the day where it's going, dude, the tribe is watching. Stay normal or we starve. Don't ruffle any feathers. Don't be like the town weirdo, right? Because we don't need another like town weirdo. Stay normal, blend in, so we survive, so we don't starve. And this is biology. This is how it works. And our brain, even though we've evolved a lot, like our technology and our phones and our awareness and all these different things, our brain has not evolved a lot. So it's very real for that part of your brain to kick in and say, don't do that, don't wear that, don't say that, what are you doing? Don't be too weird, because it's going to feel like a death. We starve, we'll be excluded, we'll never be loved again. That's very serious. That's very, not serious, well, I mean it is, but it's very real in our brain. So the next part of what I want to talk about why we get this feeling of like, who do I need to be to fit in here? I can't be who I truly am. And that's the shadow. So a lot of you guys, a lot of everybody listening, you have heard about the shadow, Carl Jung, and we've talked about this here on the show a lot. But when we talk about the shadow is the parts of you that you try to hide. So the shadow isn't like elusive necessarily. I mean, it is kind of, but it's not spooky. It's not weird. It's psychological. And we have these parts of us that we feel that we need to hide because at some point, a part of you didn't feel safe to express these things. So this goes back to childhood. Also, society has, ideas of what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, that type of thing. So our shadow is the part of us that we feel that we need to hide or suppress. If you put any kind of effort or energy into hiding a part of you, even if it's a habit or a compulsion or that snort laugh or the weirdo part or, the fact that you, whatever it is, that is the shadow. So we try to hide it. It's in the dark, right? The dark part of us. So the dark part of us isn't necessarily the dark part of us, like the evil part of us or the devil, quote unquote, part of us. It's actually the part of us that we judge, that we think is shameful. So if you don't feel safe to express it or share it, or you feel like you would be shamed, judged, ridiculed if you shared this thing about you, then it becomes your shadow. So sometimes we have parts of us that we're not safe to express as children. And sometimes it can be, we're loud, we're flamboyant, we're out there, and we're told to like tone it down. So in our shadow, we might carry this idea of like, I'm too much, I'm like, too loud. And we could put effort into trying to hide that. Like, okay, you're starting a new job, put a cap on it and don't be too weird, right? That could be part of your shadow. It could also be something like anger. Maybe when you were a kid or at some point in your life, even now you feel shame about anger. So you try to hide the fact that you think you might have a quote unquote anger problem, or when something happens, you get really mad, which is a totally normal emotion, by the way. But if you start to think this is undesirable, people would judge me. It's not about right and wrong. It's people would judge me if they knew. That part of you is your shadow. So I'll talk about in this episode, of course, how we heal and move through these things. But this isn't so much about like how to heal the shadow, how to do like this, how to change your brain. It's actually understanding from many different angles that we have been programmed and reinforced. It's been reinforced that we need to be palatable to survive or to not be judged, not be ridiculed. And so all of this is to give you understanding, because I have the same brain you do. I have a shadow, you have a shadow. We all have, these different parts of us. So it's great to bring awareness to it. So at some point with your shadow, you learned, if I show this part of me, I'll get in trouble or I'll be judged or otherwise excluded. So you push it down. And again, you weren't wrong. In your childhood, it was survival. Now it might be because you feel shame about something. Even as an example, when I was in my eating disorder, there were things I could share that were comfortable about my eating disorder, like that I restricted food or that I was obsessive with exercise. But there were things I would not share because I felt so much shame about it. And now because I've moved through it, a decade ago, I used to have this phase where because I restricted my food so much in the day, I would eat at night. And nobody, like literally nobody knew that. Even now, I don't know if anybody ever knew that I had this phase where I would eat in the middle of the night, but I felt so much shame that it became part of my shadow. Like F that, lock it down. I would never admit that to anyone. That's part of the shadow. As you can tell, because I'm sharing about it all these years later, I brought the shadow stuff into the light where I'm not super comfortable sharing it, but I also don't have to feel shame, and bringing it out of the shadows and into the light, whether you acknowledge it and give it acceptance or you share with someone or whatever it is, that starts, that's part of the healing. But again, this isn't about me and my stuff, but just to say that it's the parts of us that we put effort into hiding, because first for that, I just judged myself. I thought it was shameful. And because I put so many rules and regulations and strict everything on myself, that was like the opposite. And there was so much shame I wouldn't tell a soul. So the interesting part about the shadow is that there's often, if not always, gifts within the shadow. So, pardon me. So as I started healing and I lessened that shame, it became, again, an opportunity to heal, an opportunity to love myself unconditionally. And that's something I've always been working on. So sometimes your extraness is actually part of your gifts, or your anger is part of your passion, your desire to make change on this earth, because there's what is it called? Healthy anger, the anger that makes change, the anger that allows you to express things, and then there's, of course, hurtful anger. If you're hurting somebody or spewing it at somebody, there's times to bring that into check and all that stuff. But the passion in you can be part of your shadow, but it's actually part of your gifts. That's part of your fire, right? So maybe you feel like you walk to the beat of a different drum, you don't fit in with people, you're creative. That creativity is part of your gifts. Maybe you were like me, where I felt too sensitive. I felt different. I felt like I perceived life different. I felt weird. And in the sensitivity way, I just didn't feel like I saw life the same as other people or felt it the same as other people. I come to learn that's part of my gifts. That's part of being a channel. That's part of, the clairs that I have and the voices I hear, although that sounds really bad. But even that empathy helps me to serve clients. It helps me to be a mom. It helps me to, go around this world sharing empathy empathy and giving empathy. So sometimes the part that we feel we need to hide, the fact that we go home and like rub crystals and do that stuff, you don't have to hide that around here, but that witchy side of you is the gift. That part of you that has a fire, has a weirdness, has humor, has creativity, that's part of the gift. So you don't have to hide your shadow. There are times where, we move through things, we heal things, and those shadow parts of us soften. It doesn't mean they're right or wrong or this or that, but being a human is very complicated. And able to cope with being a human, we all have these, over time, like tendencies and neuroses and, ways that we cope with life. And so you could cope with life with green juice and exercise and all these, great healthy things and meditation. But often we do cope in different ways. And eventually we do move into the place where our coping strategies are healthier than what they used to be. And we always, get better and all that. But shaming yourself for anger or procrastination or, even how I had like an eating disorder, shaming yourself for these things only makes it worse. So I now want to kind of talk about the childhood conditioning that I've talked about for a second. And because I talked about a minute ago, there is a part of this that is so important. It's not the totality of who you are, but it's a huge part of who you are. So when you were growing up, you most likely, or most of us, got some sort of version of calm down, speak up, don't be too this, stop being dramatic, be good like your sister, why are you always acting out, be the good one, you're the bad one, you're the black sheep, don't brag, tone it down, don't be so sensitive, again, like I heard a million times. And we get these ideas, and then we become adults who feel like we're annoying when we're talking about our dreams because our parents had a version of that of like, oh, yeah, well, be a realistic, right? So now we feel too much or annoying because we're all here such a dreamer. But it wasn't like a cool thing. It was like she's got her head in the clouds. Maybe one day you'll come back down, right? So this starts to make us an adult that feels like we're too much and feels annoying when we talk about our dreams, so we start not sharing them. Or maybe we feel extra when we're excited, when we're passionate. Maybe we have a loud voice, a loud laugh. We're just infectious in that way, but we feel extra because we were always told to tone it down when we were kids. Maybe we play small to avoid rocking the boat because literally as a child, your mom, your dad, your caregivers are saying, calm down, be more like your sister. So these things really do have a big impact. I know a lot of you guys in the community, this is 101, the inner child and, your childhood conditioning. But that's why I want to bring it into this conversation, because if you were told like you were too much, that you were too much as a child, or you were bullied, you are going to bring that into your adult life. And it's time to decondition those things so that you can show up authentically, because I'm going to come to it in a second, but that's the assignment going on. That is the beauty. That is the soul calling going on underneath all of this. You are being called to be who you truly are, to be the gift for all of us. So coming back to our childhood conditioning, you weren't conditioned to shine, most likely. You were conditioned to shine to a point and then tone it down, right? You were conditioned to fit in to society, to your family, to what a good woman should be, or a good man should be, or a good this or that. No matter what, even if you're starting a business, you're looking around going, what are they doing? What should I do, right? We are conditioned to fit in. Our brain wants to do it. We have our shadow side, so we feel like we're too much and we're doing things that other people aren't. We carry burdens that other people don't, and we're just not conditioned to shine and be authentic from anywhere else other than our soul. Our soul is the place where authenticity and expression is celebrated. But here on earth, being a human, it's often not. So let's just inhale and exhale through that. That kind of sucks. However, we are the deliberate creators of this experience, and we can learn to show up as who we are, to watch miraculous things happen, to watch how our weird attracts our tribe. I always say to my husband, I'm so glad I found a weirdo that appreciates my weirdo, because aren't your friends the best weirdos that get your weirdo, that you can just text them something like Carl and they write back going orange, and you're like, oh my God, I have the best friends, right? You want to find those people now. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And do we want fake, superficial people? Do we want people who are not, I don't want to say into the same things, but people that you don't vibe with? No, right? We are moving, we are maturing, life is moving on. We don't got time for that shit. We want quality people who are of like mind, who share like energy. So now we want to break free. We want to learn to be fully expressed so that we can attract our tribe, so that we can attract new possibilities, new miracles, new manifestations, new people, new patterns, a new way of being. So you were conditioned to fit in because that's safe. You're conditioned to not show all of who you truly are because you're probably too much for people. And that's just not true. Your narrative might not be exactly that, but it's something similar. So we are now in our life waking up and starting to go, wait, that doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like me. I got so awkward socially, and I would get so panicky, like social anxiety, when I didn't used to have that, because I was so in my head of like I'm this starseed and this empath and this channel and I'm talking about all this stuff, and then I have to go into like the situation where I'm shaking hands and going, so how do you know Bruce? Like I just can't do it, and it caused me so much anxiety. And I started realizing like I can bring, and we'll get to this in a second, but I can bring who I truly am into this situation. And yes, sometimes we are, when I'm at the bank, or if I'm speaking on stage, or if I'm with my sister, or if I'm with my husband or my kids, like, yes, there's different sides of you. But can we bring authenticity into every part of our life and start to slow drip who we really are into the office, into the relationships, into the people that you already have in your life? But first, before we go into moving through that, because I want to get to that, the last thing I want to talk about before we get to that is the self-perception trap. That feels like a mouth twister. No, wait. The self-perception trap. And this one is hilarious because we all do this. When you feel insecure, I just want to go, let's see if you can relate. When you feel insecure about something, maybe it's like the sound of your voice. You hear people go like, oh my God, I hate the sound of my voice. And you're listening to it going, oh my God, I'm cringing, right? Maybe it's the way you look in a picture. Maybe it's your weird laugh. Maybe you have a huge pimple or blemish going on your face. As soon as you have something, you feel genuinely like everybody's staring at it, and there's always a narrative of like, oh, they think I'm gross, or oh, they're going to think I'm whatever, oh, they're not even going to listen to my presentation because they're all staring at my pimple, or whatever it is, right? As soon as we have this nudge of like, oh my God, like, did you hear my voice? And other people are like, yeah. And you're like, did you hear? Like, oh, I hate the way that I sound. And people are going, oh, like, I want to be really kind, but I also want to say the world doesn't revolve around you, but your world revolves around you. So if I think I'll be in like a Zoom, interview, and it's a video, and all of a sudden I realize my hair is like frizzy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's probably been staring at those frizzes the entire time. It's not true. Everybody is worried about their own pimple. So we could just laugh at this for a second. Like everybody's worried about their own frizzy hair or how they are seeming. And yes, there are people that walk around judgy. But you know what? Again, life's too short. Life's ticking on. I don't want to run around in this life trying to be palatable to everybody. So somebody may pop on this live Instagram right now. I'm recording this episode live. I didn't mention that on the Awakening Her podcast. I'm doing a live video of the recording. But anyway, someone could pop on and think I'm a total weirdo and go, not for me. That's okay. That's energy. Somebody could be in your boardroom meeting and thinking like, wow, that suit looks a certain way on her, or that scarf doesn't match her loafers. I don't know. But do we care about Jimbo and Karen and Samantha, who are, no offense if any of you have those names, who are judging others? I don't care anymore. I don't want to care. I don't want to be in that place where we're running around trying to be palatable to everyone. But back to the pimple, back to the being insecure. When you are insecure about something, you think everyone's noticing it, and everyone's not noticing it. They're noticing and being insecure with their own pimple, with their own sound of their voice. And this is something literally called the spotlight effect, where your brain magnifies your flaws because you're aware of them, and what you focus on expands. When you have a thought, because of the neural pathways, a new thought will join it. So as soon as you're like, oh my God, I'm saying they're all looking at my pimple, then a new like-minded thought will join it. Yeah, and then he's looking at my pimple, and oh my God, I've had a pimple every day this month, and if these pimples don't clear up, I'm never going to get the job. Like it's going to snowball. I was going to say skyball, but that's not a thing. So it's called the spotlight effect. And I want to say it spiritually or whatever, esoterically, that what you focus on expands. What you focus on becomes real to you. Your brain magnifies these flaws in your mind, and you're playing things back and you're like, oh my God, I totally bombed that presentation because of my zit. Whereas someone's going like, I thought it was awesome. So the truth is, people don't see you the way you see you. People see and feel your energy, your presence, your essence, not the thing you're obsessing over. But when we obsess over how like bad and wrong and awkward and blah and blue and blue we are, then we start to wreck our own vibe. So sometimes I'll be trying on outfits to say to my husband, like, is this good for dinner or whatever? And I'll put something on that I don't like, and I'll stand there in front of him all like hunched over and like pushed out and like blah. And he's like, well, not with that face. Like, I was going to say it was a nice shirt, but when you stand like that, it doesn't feel like you like it, right? And that's the thing. Someone could put you in an outfit that they're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But if you feel uncomfortable or you feel like you're wearing someone else's clothes or blah, you're going to stand a certain way. You're going to be a certain way where no one's going to think it looks, well, not that anyone, again, even cares, but you're not going to rock it. So it's not that people see you the way you see you. They feel you and they pick up on the way you're seeing you. So they might not even see your zit, but they're like, why does she so like, in the presentation? Because you in your head are going like, oh my gosh, everyone's looking at it. And they're just going like, something's off. Are you okay? Because they're not even seeing what you're seeing. And if someone's going to judge your character on a skin blemish, then they can just go right to the bad place. I'm just saying. So anyway, I want to again say that as you feel insecure to be who you truly are, it's okay. In some ways, you're wired for that. That's the limited, that's the ego, it's the conditioning, and it's fine. We all have it. But you are here to transcend. You are here to transform, to manifest, to step through and grow through what you go through. So here we come to the juice and the meat of it and the spiritual goods. You are meant to be yourself. So whether the name for you is God, soul, source, highest self, whatever you want to call it. There are many, many words. I'll just say God because a lot of people will understand what I'm saying. God made you a certain way. This lifetime created you to be a certain way with freckles, the height you are, where you were born, the color of your hair. Yes, even the snort laugh, even the things that have happened to you that came along the way, the things that were conditioned into you. It has happened, and it is how maybe your childhood went or how the past went, good or bad. I'm not making excuses, nothing like that. I'm just saying facts. What is what is. And you were made a certain way on purpose. I truly not only believe, I know for my own truth that each person individually was made exactly how they were on purpose. Not every tree is the same. No two rivers are the same. No two leaves are the same. No two snowflakes are the same. Some snowflakes are bigger, smaller, more, holes in them, more branches, less branches. All of them are different. Even two rocks that look the same and are made of the same thing are going to have differences. And that is us. We are all here on this planet, and in some ways, as humans, we're all the same, but we're all vastly different. Some people are born with musical gifts. Some people, it's the way they see things. Some people, their brain works in a certain way that makes them so good for thinking of inventions or dealing with technology or whatever. Some people are empaths that are great with children or animals. Some people are feisty and are here to fight and stand up for things. Some people like certain food, like certain music, media. We grew up in all different places all over the world. We have all of these different experiences. None of us are meant to be the same. When you try to be a watered down version of somebody else or who you think you should be, that's what happens is you water it down. So source, highest self, your soul is begging you at this time in life to remember that you are here to be exactly who you are. You were made the exact right person, the exact right height, the exact right everything for the life that you came here to live. So authenticity, it's not aesthetics. It's your soul evolution. It's not good or bad. It's like the evolution of what's truly going on right now, why you've done all this self-growth, why you're drawn to awakening and maybe some of the spiritual stuff or personal transformation, healing. It's because you want to get to the other side of the conditioning and be who you truly are. Your soul didn't incarnate here this time to be a watered down version of itself. Your soul is hoping over this lifetime that you remember yourself, that you express yourself, that you embody yourself, that you evolve to express that with us, with the world. Make your art, be your humor, have your unique flair, be passionate where you're passionate. Be different, please. Be the left-handed weirdo in the corner with me. Even if you're not left-handed, you are invited. Being authentic is expressing yourself truly and fully the way that Source made you, the way that your soul intends for you to be. Every time you be that, you express your truth, your soul expands. Every time you realize, like, I am that way. And I'm going to treat it like a gift rather than a burden. I'm going to remind myself, like, it's okay, like, to drop my shoulders and just be who I am. And if I say something random and then I snort, laugh, I just can let it roll off of me because I'm learning to be who I really am. Every time you embody that, your path gets more expanded. Your aura becomes more expanded. Every time you follow an intuitive nudge, nudging you towards something real and authentic and expressive, you are expanding. Every time you choose you strengthen your connection to you, to your purpose, to your higher path, and to who you truly are. So authenticity is almost like enlightenment in action. It's the higher consciousness embodiment. So I know that's a lot of fancy words, but the whole point is to be who you truly are. And when you heal through the stuff, not that you're ever healed or that you need to keep on healing forever, but as you evolve through the conditioning, you come to the other side and are able to be who you truly are. And that is the point. From that place, what comes up, what comes out, like as you be who you are and be who you are and be who you are and you're wacky and wild and you're here and you're real, you're going to start to get ideas. You're going to start to feel more creative. Your art is going to feel more expressive. What you do feels more expressive. You're bringing more of you to your corporate job or to your family life or to your relationships or whatever it is. And from there, you actually start sharing your gifts, your gold. And that is the true purpose. So in this lifetime here, because you came for one of growth, your job is to, yes, often we go through a very rough upbringing, to put it lightly. We go through a rough upbringing. We are conditioned. We learn a lot of shit. We go through a lot of shit. We go through a lot of therapy and counseling and self-growth and healing and releasing to get to the place where we realize I am not broken. I am not too much, too little, too sensitive. Fuck it all. Who even made those like labels? We're evolving past that. There's so many things with, even as people are aware more of like neurodivergency, is that a word? Divergency, where people used to be called a certain thing and now they just realize they're neurodivergent. Like it used to be like, you're different, you're this, you're that, everyone should fit in a box. And now they're even saying in schools, like not everybody learns the same. Not everybody perceives the same. Not everybody's brain works the same. So whatever you are, brain, body, the way your head works, the way your beautiful mind works, the way you're quirky, the way you're different, it is on purpose because we are not all meant to be beige cutouts of each other. That would be so boring. So your evolution is to remember more of who you truly are. And as you go through this lifetime, I really wish for you that. Not to just chase riches and fame and goals. It's to move more and more and more toward who you truly are. More expressed, more authentic. And your soul is pulling you toward that realness now. Authenticity is magnetic. You're starting to be pulled toward things that are more real. Your evolution is here. Your evolution into who you truly are, into that magnetism, which also ends up being the backdoor secret to things like manifestation and purpose and magnetism. It's allowing yourself to evolve more into who you are because you are that. You're older, you're wiser, you're more self-aware. You've healed so many things. You've moved through so many things. You're less tolerant of the bullshit. You're less tolerant for fake stuff and things that don't resonate, right? Less willing to shrink. You're entering this new season and this phase in life where your soul is saying, we are done pretending. We are done trying to be anything out there. We are done fitting into the boxes. We know that we are here for big things, and the path is now one of realness, action, authenticity, and realness. This isn't just a temporary phase. This is a huge part of the whole rest of your life. Being more real, being more who you truly are. Because if somebody doesn't appreciate it, they can go. If somebody, looks at you and says you're too much, they don't have to be in your life. If I went and polled every single person on the street, let them watch me for 20 minutes and go, am I your cup of tea? Like, they would be the most mixed reviews. Some people are like, yeah, she's kind of cool. And then people are like, that was very weird. Other people are like, no. Right? Like burning my nag champa. I probably smell like sage. It's like, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and it's draining to try to be. So you're entering that new phase, that new season where we're done fitting in. We are done pretending and done even pretending that we need to be somebody else. We're coming home to ourselves. Okay. So as we start to wrap up this episode, I want to talk about how to heal and how to move forward through authentic expression, how to really take this and try to make it even more real. So I want you to start with tiny little doses of truth telling to yourself, small things. And for me, it comes up sometimes like, I actually don't want to go to that thing that I'm saying yes to. Or maybe it's like, you know what? I want to eat more of this type of food. Or my body is like hurting and I listen and it's like, it needs to go for a walk. That's my truth right now. Start to hear the truth within yourself, whether it's to do with the dynamics in your life, what works, what doesn't work, but also being true with yourself. Like, I need a moment. I need some more alone time without the second thing of, well, I can't take right? Anything that discounts it. Being real. So truth telling isn't just to other people. It's not just go out there and say a bunch of stuff. It's actually within yourself. I need a moment. My inner voice is telling me this. That doesn't feel good. You know what? I'm not available for that anymore. Actually, I don't want to go. So these micro truths, they start to build self-trust. They start to heal trust and self-trust. Because we start to, like, our inner voice has been trying to tell us things all this time. But when we're not listening, we are telling ourselves that our inner voice and our truth isn't important or doesn't matter. So when we actually just admit to ourselves and go like, I don't want to go, I'm going to stay home. And then we do that, that actually starts to build self-trust. We can trust ourselves to have our own back. So one way to start doing this and start being more authentic with yourself is these tiny moments of admitting things to yourself in truth, being really truthful with yourself about what you need, about what you prefer here, about what you're available for and not available for. And then next, I want you to practice being a little weird on purpose. For some of you, you might like run the other way when I say this, but I know some of you are up for this. So just practice, especially when you're around people that are fairly like-minded or you're testing the water, just say the joke. Just wear the thing that you want to actually wear. Post the thing that you really wanted to post or sharing it or whatever without worrying what everybody's going to say. Saying to yourself, I'm going to be that extra little bit today because I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling wacky. I'm sharing the love, right? Be a little bit more you, 2% more you than yesterday. So I was going out the other day and I bought these new jeans that are like wide-legged jeans, and I bought them a while ago and I've worn them around the house. I love the way they feel, but I'm just not used to the style on myself. So I felt weird like going out. I'm like, what do I wear them with? I don't know. They're like huge, like wide-legged jeans. So I decided, I was like, I'm just going to wear them. And I went to the store and I'm like wearing my jeans and they like felt good. They feel totally like one part of my authentic style, but it's just new. So anyway, it was really non-eventful. Nothing happened. Nobody commented on my jeans, good or bad. But I came home going like, yeah, I'm glad I did that rather than not wearing the jeans. And going like, no, I'll just put on something that's like, I don't know, people are going to think I'm going to like look like a teenager. I don't know what. But just practice being a little extra, a little weird on purpose. Say the joke. Just wear the thing. Post the thing. Be a little bit more you than yesterday and just see what happens. Okay, the next thing, there's going to be 2 more things, and then we're going to wrap this up. So the next thing is watching and being aware of your inner critic. So when your mind starts saying, people are judging, that sounded weird. Why is your voice like this? Why are you being cringy? When you start hearing that, you stop, you breathe, and you say, okay, that's interesting. That's my old programming talking. Or some people love to give their brain or that part of their brain a name. Even I'll say to my husband if he's having a rough day, I'm like, wow, your shitty inner roommate is really loud. He's like, it is, yeah. Sometimes just saying it because it's not your fault. So your inner Karen, your shitty roommate, your drill sergeant, whatever it is for you, as soon as you start hearing like people are judging, why are you talking? You sound stupid. You're so cringy. Just answer with, okay, I hear you, inner Karen. I hear you, inner roommate. That's my old programming. Call it out. Neutralize it and just breathe. Even if you do, like, stop talking, but like take a deep breath and go, you know what? I'm not going to shame myself. I'm just being me. It's fine. Nobody cares in a good way. Okay, the last thing I want to say is to be in the discomfort when you feel weird and awkward. So what I try to do now in social situations is, first of all, I'll have like crystals in my bra. I like get myself all ready. But before I take a deep breath and like just be you. So I'm like, oh, hello. Oh, that, yeah, what a beautiful jacket you have, because that is who I am. I can do that. I can compliment something that I feel looks great, or, oh, nice to meet you. Oh yeah, the kids are good. And it's okay. It's okay. And then when it's uncomfortable, I just try to glide through it. Like keep breathing, take little breaks if you need to, and whatever we're talking about for you. And authenticity, is supposed to feel a little bit uncomfortable, especially at first. We've just gone through your brain and fitting in and all these different reasons why it's going to be uncomfortable, but discomfort is expansion. I was going to say uncomfort. Uncomfort is expansion. Discomfort is expansion. It means you're going into new territory. So you can handle the discomfort. You can grow. You can rise. You've handled so much worse. So when you start to feel uncomfortable, you hear that inner critic, drop your shoulders, don't run from the discomfort, take a deep breath and be like, okay, Karen, okay, inner roommate, okay, drill sergeant, that's my old programming. And I'm no longer going to tell myself I'm too much, because to the right people, I am what I am. My friends love me, or this, my kitty thinks I'm great. Doesn't even matter. I am what I am. I am what I am. Say that and people think you're weird. Walk away and go, it's all good. So wrapping up, I want to remind you and just come back to all of who you are and the manifestation. No, said a better way. Hang on. All of the manifestations, all of the goals you have, all of the desires you have, your manifestations, your purpose, your aligned relationships, your abundance, your creativity, your thrivingness are going to depend on your authenticity. I have helped endless business owners, whether they are starting a business, pivoting, dialing in marketing, dialing in offers, and it's always about authenticity, finding where they shine. That is where it works. If you're attracting a new relationship, friendships, if you're just wanting to not feel so insecure, it's all going to depend on authenticity. And it is as well with manifestation and abundance, because magnetism attracts magnetism. Magnetism is magnetic for blessings, for dollars, for people to lean in because they feel you. Your highest self can only meet you at your true frequency, not your squished down one, palatable one, who should I be here one. Authenticity is alignment. Alignment is magnetism. Magnetism is manifestation. So authenticity is your true spiritual path, but also the path to your business success, your home life success, your life success, your health. We've talked about this a lot on the show. It's not about doing any health thing. It's about finding your authentic path to health. So authenticity is your path. So I want to close just by saying and asking, why are we so scared to be ourselves? Why are we so scared to be ourselves? Because we are wired to fit in. We are conditioned to tone it down. We are programmed for survival to not ruffle feathers. But luckily, you're in 2025 or whenever you listen to this, and you are not here to survive anymore. You're here to expand. You're here to thrive. You're here to shine. You're here to express and transform and be that full expression of the butterfly you came here to be, the real you, the soulful, fiery, weird, humorous, hilarious, random, fashion mixed, on point in your own style you, the wise you, the empathetic you, the different you. I've always felt different. Good, thank God. I used to always say that. I always felt different. And now I'm like, yeah, you were. Because we are all different and we're meant to be that. You are ready. You are ready to be in that authenticity, which is your next evolution. Okay, my love. Let's take a deep breath. That is a lot. Let that land. Thank you for being here with me. For all of you that tuned in on Instagram, I filmed this whole thing live, behind the scenes, one take. This is how we do around here. This is how these episodes come out. And it was so fun to hang out with you. So I will see you in the next recording on the Awakening Her podcast. And as I mentioned before, if you want to dive into the free bundle, Microdoses of Magic, you can come on and check that out. I also recommend getting on the retreat waitlist for the next retreat and coming and joining me over on Instagram. That's where everything's going on. And if you're really ready to dive into one-on-one work and you get that nudge and you feel that magic that I could help you to activate that next level, mind, body, soul with tangible practices, I'm going to invite you into one of two things. One is the Catalyst Mentorship, which is a full 2-month transformation and express portal. We also have our 2 sessions called the Clarity and Momentum sessions. And so we meet 2 times over 1 week to move you through something. So we have a specific goal. We are gaining momentum. We're getting you unblocked. We're getting you moving through. That's when you need a quick hit, when you don't want to do it alone, when you want that support. That's the the Clarity and Momentum sessions. And next up is the 2-month Catalyst Mentorship starting in January. So I cannot wait to see you guys in that. It was so fun recording this for you, and I will see you in the next episode. Okay, take care.